as we have seen in Purvashadha, what we have seen is the extension of that will be here. So you have a second invincible one, the later victory. So Uttara would mean something that is happening later on. Okay, in life, there is something that is happening later on. What is happening later on is the Ashada happening later on. So there can be two meanings for this in simple terms. One is Ashada is the Brahmacharya, and the Ashada is also related to success. So what we have seen, I'm not very sure if I've said this in Purvashada or not, if I've missed it. Please just make a note of this. How to simply, in just two sentences, how we can get to understand this is, um, if the Ashada would be like this. The success would be early in case of Purvashada. Success would be early. The and there will be some brahmacharya in the early part of life. Okay, and there can be a marriage little delayed or something like that. Okay, so in case of Uttarashada, the success is a little late. Okay, and for marriage, there is either the marriage is very early or there is no marriage at all. So if the person is getting married, he has to get married at a very early age in case if it's Uttarashada. And how do we check that? It is always good to have a look at the Lagna cusp, the Lagna Lord Disposita, and then the Lagna Lord for better understanding of this nakshatra as a theme, life theme. Okay, just not look at the moon and have an understanding of it. That's very crude or very primitive way of understanding that. So let's look at the mantra. The mantra is Visvesham Devanam Uttarah Abhijayat Parastat Abhijitam Avastat. Visvesham Devanam Uttarah Abhijayat Parastat Abhijitam Avastat. Okay, so this deals with victory. Okay, so a person is trying to be victorious by hook or crook. That is what Uttarashadha is all about. Because the person has been unsuccessful in the first part of his life, now he is employing all the means to be successful and make more money. Because whoever has started the journey of life along with him have actually gone ahead of him, and this man has actually stayed a little behind. So he wants to catch up with them. That is another trait of Uttarashada. So in the Uttarashada, we have Visve Devas as the gods. So we have, if you look at Hinduism, the Vedic Sanatana Dharma culture, we do not have single god. Okay, everybody would claim that look, your god is not one. You have n number of gods. You do not even know how many gods you have. Actually, we have only one god. Okay, the God is called as Parabrahman. Okay, the one who is formless, the one who does not have a name or anything. Okay, so that man is called as the Parabrahma. You can't even call him a man, or there is no gender for the God. So he's called as the Parabrahman. When the gods are identified individually, okay, so let's suppose we take our case itself in India. Let's suppose you go to North India or in the South India. Some people would say, look, I like Ram. Some might say, look, I like Balakrishna. Some might say, I like Anjaneya. Some might say, look, I like, I don't know, Lakshmi. Some might say, I like Sai Baba. So what happens is they'll actually draw parallels to each of them. So they would say, look, Anjaneya or the Hanuman is the most powerful of everyone. One would say that. The other man would say, no, Sai Baba is the most powerful. Okay. Some might say that, Rama is the most powerful because he's the first god. They'll have their own way of description or their own way to support to say that his god is best. Okay, that is what this nakshatra is all about. It means that the Vishve Devas, when they are united, they are called as the Parabrahma. Okay, and when they are seen separately as each entity differently, they are called as Vishve Devas. When they are all together, they form into a formless thing that becomes the Parabrahma. Or in simple words, if we have to relate it to today's life, if you want to see that, How would you see that? Is if you are identifying yourself as a separate entity and the world is separate. Okay. I, me, myself is one entity and the world is a different entity. No, actually, the truth is you are a part of the world. Okay. You cannot identify yourself away from the world or separately from the world. You're still given a name. You are identifying yourself to be different from the world. That is right. However, when you do karma or when you look at things, you should not be looking at that these are not my people, these are my people. That's not how one should be looking at. Okay, we will get into the intricacies of it, and all of those traits will actually only point to this particular sentence which I just said. So just have a look of that thing once again. Go back and forth in the video and have a good note of it. The symbols are elephant's tusk, like the previous nakshatra as well has elephant's tusk, and we also have a small cot kind of a thing, or a thing where when we do the puja, right? We have an asana, right? We sit on something. A similar thing is called as stool or seat or whatever in English. In Hindi we call it pitha or pitham in Telugu or in whatever language you have different languages based on whatever you call it in your language. That's why the image is here. We can call it asana. Okay, and there is a dhwaja or a flag. And if you see a cot, there's too many planks are there in a cot just to support the mattress that you're going to put over it. So all these planks are separated, but unless they are working together, it cannot hold your mattress. So all these planks are the Vishwe Devas. When they all unite and work together, it is called as the Parabrahma or the Paramatma. Okay. So the idea of this nakshatra is just not be a single person. Look at the whole as an entity, as a whole single one entity. Okay. And the tusks of the elephant that we talked about last time would also talk the same thing here. It is the dental problems that one may have or little obesity issues that one might face in this nakshatra. Okay. One is the obesity issue. The other one is the dental problems. More than the dental problems here, I'm seeing some obesity issues as well. So the seat or the stool or the dhwaja, everything would mean that. I mean, dhwaja means a flag. Okay, so all of these, what would it mean is this person, the native, is trying to win over everyone, and he is trying to put his flag over wherever he is going. I mean, you go to the history, go into the history, and just find out if a kingdom gets into a war with another kingdom, and whoever wins, right, they are going to put their flag on their fort. They'll remove the older flag and they'll put their I mean, whoever invaded them, they're going to put their flag over it, right? So this person is trying to wage war with everyone. Okay, so it may not be literally going with a sword or something to kill the other person. I do not mean to say so. However, he's trying to wage a war in a way wherein he is benefited, himself is benefited, highly self-centered, and he's trying to look at the other person is not belonging to me. Okay, this is how the attitude of the native is. I'm generalizing here, but you have to look at all the combinations. Just not merely place moon here and have a look at. I'm not saying that if your Janma Nakshatra is so, you're going to get all this. So all that you have to look at is the first house, cusp, and then the lord of the first house, and then the dispositor of the first house. These three are the major factors that would decide the theme of that particular house, and based on which you have to decipher what the person is actually about. The foundation above is strength to win. The foundation below is the goal that can be won. The native is looking at a goal which is possible. Okay, he thinks that this task is possible. So all that he needs a little bit of strength, continuous, effort, and then he'll win. Okay, which is a very good thing. Just in case somebody needs success, he has to continuously pursuing it, right? Because somebody cannot stop. If he needs success, he has to constantly pursue it. So material success winning over competition, and having a very good career are themes of this nakshatra. However, there can be delay in actually establishing the career because it is Uttara. Okay. The Shakti is Apradrishya Shakti, the power to achieve success that is unstoppable. Okay. I mean, how I would describe this is have an understanding of two people who are competing with each other. I mean, you can take big giants. Uh, I remember an ad or something which came across to me, maybe by a message or something. I'm not very sure what those companies are. Those are two companies, actually, two car companies, car manufacturing companies. I'm not very good at remembering these dates or stuff because I'm not very interested in that. What the ad read was, congratulations to you for completing 25 years of your, or maybe 100 years of your establishment. It has been very boring for the first 25 years for us. What does it mean? We are actually 125-year-old company, and the first 25 years nobody was there. So I mean, why I said this is, if the person is Uttarashada, he will ensure that there is no competition for him, and he keep killing his competition. I mean, if you understand how people work with products, if you are a product manufacturing company, you know this very well. What you would do is you will understand who are the competition, and you will try to price your product and position your product based on how the competition is placing it. This is called as a competition analysis strategy, all that stuff, which is done by the marketing people, the product people. They all sit together and they try to understand how do we position this product and what can be the price for this. All that will be based on how much the market price is and how can we kill competition and actually acquire more business. Okay, so this is very good for it. I hope I'm making some sense. Let's look at the mantra. Visvesham Devanam Uttaraha Abhijayat Parastat Abhijitam Avastat. It's here in the English. You can read it from here. Visvesham Devanam Uttara Abhijayat Parastat Abhijitam Avastat. Visvesham. See, last week we have talked about Apam Purvashada. Apam, as we
Sir,
talked about.
sir,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt, but your audio is a little patchy today.
I have to apologize, yes, because my net is not very good today. Um, is it understandable or it's too patchy?
It is understandable, but it is a little patchy.
I don't think I have any more means to actually improve it. Just in case if it is not good, then we have to call off this class.
No, you can continue. We will manage.
Okay. Let us see. Let us see. Okay. So Visvesham, we were talking about Visvesham. Visvesham is Visva. Visva means the earth. Last time we talked about the water on the earth, which actually comprised of 70% on the total earth, and 30% would be earth, is what we talked about. So this time, Visva would mean the whole universe or the world itself or the earth itself. Okay. So what does earth mean? Earth would mean riches. Okay. Anything that can be enjoyed only on this earth. That is money, right? Everything else, you can go elsewhere and also enjoy after because you need body to enjoy comforts. Unless there is body, there is air conditioner. You need body for it, right? Unless there is body, there is no use of air conditioner. If you're an atma, either you're in a desert or elsewhere, it is just the same. Okay, I think okay. So you need you need a place to live in. So that is the earth. The earth would mean money. So this nakshatra is focused on making riches. Okay. Or the person is trying to live a rich life even though he is not rich. Or he's trying to save too much money and behave like a stingy person, although he has good amount of money. He's actually not living his life. We call this as abhijatya. Okay. Because if you look at the mantra would say Abhijit, Abhijayat, and then Abhijit. Both are related to Abhijatya. Abhijatya is a word which would mean not living the true life. I mean, portraying oneself as somebody who is either very royal or who is very, poor. Not living his own life is Abhijatya. So the person is too stingy, trying to save a lot of money, not sharing resources with people. That is one trait you can look at. Or the person does not have any money, but he would say, "Look, my father's father was a landlord. All of this, this colony was ours at one point in time. Today, this guy is a beggar. He doesn't have anything in his hand, but he would say." Look, my father was that, my grandfather was this. Okay, do not take any offense in whatever I say. I only try to exaggerate things so that they stick to your mind. If I do not exaggerate, these are going to fly off. So if anybody has any Uttarashada, for that matter, any of the nakshatra, please do not take any offense from here. The idea is to give off everything in a very clear-cut way. So what I would be talking is the most exaggerated thing. Then is the Devanam. Devanam means the people. Okay, Devanam is the gods actually, but we consider everybody to be a god in our culture. So we are identifying ourselves as one of those gods, and we are separating everybody else. So the person is not trying to look at the whole thing as a single entity, but he's only drawing parallels to everything, and he's identifying everybody separately. Just give me a second, please. Sorry. So the person is trying to identify himself to be a separate entity. Okay, that is what the Devanam would mean. And he's trying to win over everyone. If he's not able to win over the person, he's trying to employ Sama, Dana, Bedha, Danda, Upayas for winning. These are the employable means in Indian context, wherein the person will talk to him. Then he would say, "Look, I'll give you this," or then he would say, "Look, I have reached up to some big people." One second. Yeah. So I have reached up to so many big people and stuff like that. All that he would talk, and he will win over the person, and he will actually start a spiritual journey as he's aging, and maybe after a lot of time has gone by, that is when he would start to realize that, look, whatever I have done in this life is wrong. I have to look at the whole world as a single entity. Okay, this happens in a few people. When this happens, actually, what happens is he would give away a lot of wealth in charity and stuff like that. Some people may not realize this. So, what they would do is they would either be very stingy all through their life or will limit the riches only to them. They will keep enjoying with their own people or their own selves, because this nakshatra is highly self-centric. Okay. One good thing with self-centric nakshatras is that they're constantly focused on their self-improvement. Okay. That, let's suppose somebody says, "Look, this fellow has failed in the class." And he would say, "Look, where am I standing? I'm at the middle. So I have to improve myself first, then actually talk about somebody who has failed. So I'll not bother who is failed or not failed. So let me actually improve myself." This is a very good trait, however. The bad side of it is not able to share resources with everyone. So if he carries some food or something, he would not be interested to share the food with all the people. Okay, food is a type of a resource. It can be anything. Uh, there are funny stories around it. Let me just give you some stories of my personal experience. That is the extreme of the Uttarashada. Okay. So Ashadha means a brahmachari, and adding a word Uttara would mean a brahmacharya in the later part of life. So the person has to get married here in the first half of life, or let us suppose if it's a male, usually depending on wherever you're living. Okay, in general context these days in South India, people get married at 28, 29, 30. If the person is over 30, male, okay, so they may think he's already late, or maybe 31. Over that, he's already late. This varies from caste to caste, place to place, so you must be able to identify that. So based on what your people of your place are doing. So based on that, the person has to get married at least 5 6 years before that age comes. So if it is 30, then maybe the person must have got married before 25, 24. Then it is fine. Otherwise, getting married itself in Uttarashadha is very difficult because the animal here is a male mongoose. Okay, male mongoose does not have a partner because there used to be a nakshatra called Abhijit, which does not exist anymore. After the Dwapar Yuga, during the Dwapar Yuga, Krishna removed that nakshatra called Abhijit. Okay, there is a story around it. You can Google it up. It's all available. I'm not talking about that. So, because there is no female mongoose available, Abhijit Nakshatra used to be a female mongoose. If you see, all of these nakshatras will have an animal mentioned for each nakshatra. So, this animal, let us suppose this is a male mongoose, it should have a female counterpart. So, there should be a female counterpart for it to get married. Because there is female counterpart missing here, the yoni is missing female counterpart, the possibility of getting married in Uttarashadha becomes very, very difficult. So, seventh house, Lord's dispositor connects to Uttarashadha. It's really difficult to get married. So, assuming you have a lagna in the Gemini, okay, you have a Gemini lagna, you have the lagna in Purva, what is that? Rudra, Punarvasu. Okay, Punarvasu, third charana, you have the lagna, and in the seventh house, you have a Jupiter. A lot of people would be thinking, wow, I have got a Jupiter which is in the own house. However, what is happening now is you have a Jupiter which is placed in a sign which would denote there is no marriage, or there is a lot of problem in the marriage, or there is a divorce in the marriage at a later age. Okay, because this is Uttara Ashada, Brahmacharya at a later age, or there is a death of spouse after about 15 20 years of marriage. Okay, so what a lot of people, the myths I'm trying to bust here are having an exalted planet is good, having a debilitated planet is bad, having an own sign planet is good. These are myths. Okay. Do not fall into these myths. These are all literally myths. Yes, I'm not saying having an exalted planet is bad. I'm not saying either of that. Okay. Always look at what is the lagna. From the lagna, what is the position that particular planet is occupying? Based on that, if it is good or not, you will easily understand. Okay. Assuming the same Jupiter is there in the Uttarashada first charana, in the Sagittarius, it would still be in the own sign. But if the, what do you say? But if the Lagna is Aquarius, what happens is he is the second and the 11th Lord. This person is doing a business which does not have any competition. Okay. So he has a monopoly business wherein nobody else has this kind of product. So he is gaining more money there. Okay. So the same Jupiter it is. It is the same Jupiter which is in the own sign which I talked about in the Sagittarius, the first charana of the Uttarashada. One is Aquarius Lagna, where the business is excellent. One is in the Gemini, is the Lagna. The marriage is a problem. Okay, so each nakshatra has specific characteristics. You have to make use of those nakshatra characteristics to understand whether you're getting the right result or not. Okay, but don't be of this myth that something is exalted, you get a very good result. Something debilitated, you get a bad result. Lot of people are having these myths. Please, please, please get away from them. They are only going to bring you troubles. In the D1, please do not look at exaltations, own signs, debilitations. Do not even consider them in the D1 at all. In the divisional charts like the D9 or the D10, yes, they may bring in some results, but they are not ultimate. I mean, do not think something is exalted, you have a great, no, never like that. Okay, sometimes having an exalted planet is a problem. Sometimes a debilitated planet is a blessing. It can be both ways. Okay, so what we are looking at is a person who is having a brahmacharya yoga at the end of life, or at least in the middle of life, maybe around 50, 55. So how does brahmacharya yoga come into picture, and things like that? It can be the death of spouse, there can be divorce, there can be illness to one of the either the wife or the husband, so they are following brahmacharya, they cannot have intercourse, or they are into a spiritual path. Okay, that's why they're not able to unite, and or the person is living at a different place than his wife, so they are separated because of a transfer or a work at an office where they are living in two different places. Okay, usually this happens after uh, some part of life has already gone by, like they have enjoyed some good life along, I mean, both have enjoyed good sexual life, and then they have some separation. Okay, but this can happen only if the native is married a little early uh, than what is the prescribed age, or the couple have a big gap between them. The wife is like 18 years old at the time of marriage, and the male is like 35 years old. There is a huge gap between the couple. Even that can happen. Both of these. Okay. And Abhijayat means complete victory. As I said, the person is trying to be victorious over everyone. I should not have any competition. I should be killing everyone. Okay, and I should keep all of the resources for myself. Okay, this is what is the essence of this nakshatra. Abhijayat means complete victory, and no compromise with anyone. He cannot make compromises. Okay, the person is very stubborn because the previous nakshatra is of Ganga. Ganga is very stubborn. Apam, Purvashadha, Ganga is very stubborn. You still have some characteristics of rigidity, even in case of Uttarashadha, because they want to win, right? They don't want to listen to anyone. Somebody might say, no, this is a difficult path. Don't go by that. It's very difficult to achieve this task. They'll not listen to it. They're very determined and they will go the same way. Okay. So as I said, Abhijatya, this person is a poor man, but he would think that, look, I'm a very rich man. Okay, he's not living his own life, he's trying to live somebody else's life. Okay, this can be seen very much. So there are two ways of looking at it. Really, the person is poor, but he's trying to behave as if he's very rich, going for false prestige, trying to spend too much money than what actually has to be spent. And he would keep asking money or begging money from here and there, or maybe asking friends to lend money to him. All this. The other side is he has good amount of money, he earns good amount of money, he goes to office, his wife goes to office. Still, then he's very stingy and trying to live like a very poor man and trying to save a lot of money and resources for the next generations. Both of them are doing something of this sort. Okay. Then you have it's all about money, money, money here. The person is highly money minded. And the other important thing is he's not willing to share the resources. These are the two things. And he's trying to show himself as a different person than what he is. These are all the three things. Ashada would mean, um, somebody who's trying to cheat. Cheat means he's not living his own life. So if he's a poor man, let him live like a poor man. He can't be, having a dinner at a five-star hotel, and he cannot be a poor man. For having dinner at a five-star hotel, this poor man goes to his friends, asks money on interest, and goes to a five-star hotel. Okay, because he thinks my father and my grandfather are of very good lineage. I cannot be, eating at this small, useless hotel. I should be going to something which is big. Okay, false prestige kind of. Whatever I'm describing here is all extreme, do not think everybody who has an Uttarashada connection will behave like this. But there will be some part of it which is visible. I'm only trying to exaggerate that because the class is about Uttarashada. But you will see a few people. I know a few people personally, wherein, whenever the Uttarashada falls in the resource Rasi, what is the resource Rasi or the resource house? It's the second house. Second house, you have resources. So Uttarashada, when it gets into the second house and there is moon or Venus, because Venus would be the natural second house lord, so Venus would represent resources. Moon gets exalted in the second house, so Moon would represent resources. If these two or one of these falls into Uttarashada and it happens to be the second house from the Lagna, there are more likeliness of having these qualities. And also, if for adding insult to the injury, if the Lagna as well is in the final charana of the Uttarashada, then it is much more and very, very visible. I mean, openly, the native is going to say in front of everyone that, look, I have no business to feed you all. Please leave. Don't be thinking that I have money, so I would feed you. Please leave. I am not going to provide any food because food is the first resource anybody would provide. And most people in the Indian context, I'm talking. I mean, please do not take any offense here, okay? If you have any of these feelings that are, crumbling up in your minds, please remove these feelings. If this actually goes up too much in the brains, it is only going to get bad results. Please remove these feelings from your mind. If you have this said combination, which I just said, please remove this and try to actually feed people. I mean, if somebody comes up to your house, मामा का लड़का आया उसको खाना दो यार, या मौसी का लड़का आया खाना दो उसको. Please do not send them away. Okay, you may not, there is no need for you to feed beggars or anyone. At least relatives come up to your house, please feed them. Do not say, look, I have no business to feed you. Please leave. This is a bad way of looking at things. Okay. So the other one is when Parvati and Shiva were together, okay, when they were in the Ekanta, that means when they were alone and trying to make love, the Vishwadevas tried to interrupt them and they knocked the doors. The closed doors were knocked. The reason for knocking off those doors is because they felt Parvati is the most powerful woman on the earth, and Shiva is the most powerful man on the earth. And if they unite, okay, and if they produce an offspring, the person is going to be more and more powerful. And as an Indra myself, so I'm an Indra, and my chair is gone. So I have to stop the union and begged Shiva and Parvati a boon. Look, you guys cannot unite and produce an offspring. If you need children, maybe you have to find alternate means. But you please do not unite. This is what is a boon I'll ask for. So he got the boon. However, he also got a curse from Parvati, saying, "You stop my union, so you will not have any more, marriages happening or any more children you will be having." This is the curse of Parvati. So the people, the natives are either struggling to get married, or the liking for marriage does not exist, or they've married very early off in the life, wherein people does not even understand what marriage is, like 15 years, 17 year, 18 year, 8 years, 10 years. Even now there are, you go to very remote places, some people are married off at 8, 10, 11, 15, 12. It's illegal still. People get married off at an unknown age or when the maturity is not enough. Okay. So that can be one possibility. Or the person himself is not married at all, or he has problems with the childbirth. There is no children, or there is a lot of delay in having children. Maybe for 10 years, 15 years, they didn't have children and they had it, or they never had any children. How do we confirm if they have children or not? You always have to look at the article which I gave in detail, that is childlessness. You go to the website, it is free of cost. Just go to the website, read all the childlessness rules, and look at the Saptamsha for sure. Then only one can declare to be a childlessness case. Otherwise, usually this causes delays. And if everything is pointing towards childlessness, then yes, there are childlessness issues as well coming up from this nakshatra. Okay. So same thing, not interested in sharing food. This is the first thing that you would dislike about Uttarashada. If anybody has it, please provide food, at least to your people. You may not feed beggars. You need not feed beggars, but at least provide, food to your own people. Mausi ka ladka, mausa ka ladka, chachi ka ladka, tauji ka ladka. आएंगे तो feed करो. I mean, do not shoo them away. It is not that they are coming to your house because they don't have food to eat. They definitely have food to eat at home, but they came to see you, how you are. So try to feed them. Um and then the Ganesha and the Vyasa, which we talked about even in the previous nakshatra. So there can be obesity issues because of the elephant that we talked about, or sometimes dental problems as well. And what I have seen is when they are connected to the second house, the kind of oratory skills that they have, they're going to justify why they are not providing food. Okay, this is one way dangerous. I mean, if I try to compare this example, wherein the person has said, "Look, I cannot provide you food," and if it's a very strongly aspected by Saturn, Mars, etc., this guy is trying to justify why he is not providing him food by saying, look, I have come about 2, 3 years before. You guys said, look, no, no, we are not in the town, and you have not provided me food. So I'm giving you a tit for a tat. Okay, so justification skills, and they're going to provide kind of justifications which it would look like, yeah, this is right. I mean, logically. However, when you're not in the town, what you would do? This is not a justification, right? Okay, fine, somebody has not provided food, but you provide. You should be right on your part. Okay. So that is one lesson that you can look at. Adi Shankaracharya, okay, Adi Shankaracharya also had an encounter with a Panchama, or a person who was Chandala, okay, with a Chandala. If you read on the Wikipedia as well, all these things are available. Okay, there's nothing new that I'm trying to give you. So this man proposed a Siddhanta called as Advaita. Okay, Dvaita means there are two things in this world. Okay, one is you and the world. Advaita means there are no things. No, there are no two things. There is only one thing. That is the Paramatma himself, and we are a part of the Paramatma. Okay, before proposing this theory to the world, Adi Shankara has encountered a lot of people and he understood that. And when he met a Chandala, the Chandala asked Adi Shankaracharya, "You are asking me to give you a way so that you can walk. You are a Brahmana and I am a Chandala. So, do you think the Chandalas do not have God inside them? Even the Chandala's Atma is also God. So, are you saying the God inside me to, give you the path? Or what are you asking for?" Then this man, Adi Shankaracharya, understood that he is the Shiva himself who actually disguised himself and came like a Chandala. Okay, so what we understand from here is the person at the native is going to face issues of self-centeredness, at least in the first half of his life, like 40, 45, 50 years. He would be at the peak of self-centeredness between and an age like from 25 onwards, this person is highly self-centered till the age of 50 or maybe 55. Okay. So Dundubhi is Mandodari's brother. Mandodari is the wife of Ravana. So what I'm trying to explain to the whole story is Rama, when he fought Ravana, all the Vanaras helped him. All the Vanaras and the Bhallukas helped him. All of these people were Vishwe Devas. The Vishwe Devas took different forms and they were born or reincarnated as Vanaras and Bhallukas so that they can support the Paramatma, the Rama. When Rama gets united with all of his Darbar, that's why we actually get Rama Darbar photo in all of our homes and we keep it. You know what it is? It is the Uttarashada Nakshatra. When it is all united, it becomes uh, the Paramatma. So when all the Vanaras, Rama, Sita, Hanuman, and Lakshman are all together, it means that all the gods are present here. Okay. And why did they all unite? So that they can kill the demon king Ravana. So ultimately, what is the objective of this nakshatra? The objective of this nakshatra is to kill the enemy, okay, the demon. Similarly, you have Gajendra Moksha. The understanding of the Gajendra Moksha in one single line is that Gajendra got the moksha ultimately after suffering a bite from the crocodile. Lord Vishnu came and helped him. And what we will understand from here is he had an unwavering faith. And ultimately, the victory is going to come through unwavering faith. This is what we will understand. Also, Jupiter is debilitating here. One thing I will add up for whoever has come newly into the class or who's listening to the lecture for the first time, debilitation of a planet does not mean Jupiter debilitates here. It does not mean Jupiter is going to give you bad results. No, do not think like that. Debilitation happens for a reason because Jupiter has some qualities. Nakshatra has some other qualities. If these two qualities are trying to contradict with each other, Jupiter does not like to be in this nakshatra. Jupiter is not very comfortable in this nakshatra because of the characteristics of this nakshatra. However, if you pick your horoscope and see, even if your Jupiter is in debilitation, it does not mean Jupiter is uncomfortable. No, it is not like that. You have to look at it from the place, as I said. Even if, let us suppose, if Jupiter is placed in Capricorn in the Uttarashadha, if your Lagna is Aquarius, your seventh, your second, and the 11th Lord is placed in Uttarashadha, despite the fact that it is debilitated in the 12th house, the person is going to be very rich. He could be winning actually in the foreign land. Okay. And he's going to be a king in the foreign place. So do not think debilitation is a bad thing. Okay. Debilitation can be a good thing, debilitation can be a bad thing. And a planet's debilitation is not going to change, is actually completely changing with respect to the Lagna that you have. So always what is important for a personal horoscope is the Lagna. If you're looking at, let us suppose, whether the war that is right now happening, is it going to stop or not? If such things you are going to see, then you look at what is debilitated and what is not, because you don't have a Lagna there. Or even if you have a Lagna for the states or the countries that you talk about, then those things will help. But in individual horoscopy, please do not look at debilitations or exaltations. They are not going to help. Instead, actually, they'll confuse you and leave you in a lurch. You will not understand anything. Okay. So Jupiter debilitates here because the Jiva Karka is the Jupiter. Jupiter is the happiest when there is peace, not war. Uttarashadha is a war-causing nakshatra. All of the gods are getting into war. You know why? Because in the Mula nakshatra, At times, what happens is when the Prahlada, when the Virochana, and the Mahabali, all three are descendants of each other. Prahlada is the father, okay, and then is the Virochana, and then his son is the Mahabali. And Prahlada's father was Hiranyakashipa. When Hiranyakashipa was killed or slayed by Narasimha Avatara, Prahlada was made as a king. So he kept on sitting on the chair. He got it to the next level to his son, then again to his son is Mahabali. So three generations, Indra lost the chair. Now Indra is trying to make up his army and he's trying to unite with everyone and trying to wage a war against Mahabali. Okay. So that's why the next nakshatra is of the Vishnu. All these people are uniting at one place and talking about, look, this is three generations are over. Still, we have not got the power. We have to win. Okay. It's been delayed so much. We have to go and win now. So what they do, they all approach Vishnu. In the next nakshatra, the Vamana Avatara will come, who is going to push down the Bali into the Patala Loka, and all that chair that the Bali was owning is going to get back to Indra. Okay, this is the next nakshatra. The Shravana nakshatra will have this story. So now Jupiter is actually debilitated. Why? Because the Mahabali's uh, the Mahabali's guru is Venus. Mahabali's guru Venus. What did he say to Mahabali? Look, the man who is walking up to you like a dwarf, like a Brahmana. This man is not a Brahmana, neither he is a dwarf. He is a giant. He is the person who is owning the entire world. He is Vishnu. Please do not give any dana to him. Please do not donate anything to him. Please ask him to leave. This is what Venus or the Sukracharya told Bali. Bali said, Sir, even if he is Vishnu, you told me one thing. When there is yajna happening and some Brahmana walks up to you, you are obliged to pay him, no matter whatever he's asking for. So I have to do my duty. I cannot hear to what you are saying. This is what Bali gave as a reply. The moment he said that, Jupiter fell into debility because you have to obey what the Guru is saying. So for Rakshasas, the Guru is Venus or the Sukracharya. So because the Venus's word was not listened to by King Bali, Jupiter fell into debility. Okay, this is another way of looking at it. So Jupiter is also the head of all the resources. Why actually the war has come up is because they did not give the Amrita to the Rakshasas. After the Samudra Manthana was over, when the real nectar came out, the Amrita or the nectar was not shared to the demons. Instead, they were cheated. That's why the kings and the devas and the demons are at war. Okay. So the resource sharing was not done properly. That's why the guru is debilitated. Okay. Even you can think of this like this. All right. So I gave a few more things here. And also, Jupiter is the Jiva Karka. What would Jupiter say is, please go have a wife, okay? Have a good sexual life, generate kids in a dharmic way, okay? And this sexual life should also be dharmic. And you produce kids, teach them good manners, and let them also have kids, and let your lineage keep continuing. Okay, this is what Jupiter keeps talking about. When Uttarashada is a star which denies marriage, when denies children, because Jupiter is the Karaka for children, Jupiter is Karaka for happiness. So if none of these are there for the person is obviously going to suffer on the personal side because he does not have a family, he does not have kids. So the person is actually depressed, right? That's why the Jupiter is in debility. The Jiva is in debility. Jupiter means the Jiva or the person. So it's not the Atma, it's the Jiva that is in the debility. Okay. The Atma is like the moon, right? Because the moon travels faster. Okay. Uh, but what is the good thing with the Jupiter? You take any of the acharyas who teach archery, like the Dronacharya, okay? or anybody for that matter, they all fall in Jupiter, right? They all fall in Sagittarius. Look at where the Jupiter exalts from Sagittarius. From Sagittarius, Jupiter is exalting in the eighth house. Okay, so Sagittarius is a place of war, which I told you even last time. Dhanas is the symbol of Sagittarius, which would mean waging a war. But what is Jupiter happy doing? Establishing peace between two people. Okay, so Jupiter does not like the Sagittarius sign uh, when he is in exaltation. So when Jupiter is in exaltation, Sagittarius is very weak. So do not think I have an exalted Jupiter, and if there are five planets here in Sagittarius, all of them are struggling because your Jupiter is exalted. Okay. We'll talk about these things once we complete all the nakshatras. We'll talk about each of the planet and what each of them are actually looking at. Then you will have more clarity. Okay, so you need to be patient. You cannot be jumping guns and thinking, what does this mean? Why is it not coming? Or it takes some time. This is a subject which would take like years together. Okay. So sir, the traits, let us look at them. You have abhijatya. This is the first trait that you have to look at. The person is not living his life. He's trying to either make, live like a person who is either very rich or very poor. Okay. False life, either into very false prestige, or he has a lot of money, but he's very stingy, does not want to share food. See, food, how much it will cost? Even if you get 10 people in a day and if you feed them, how much would it cost? Would cost nothing. This person may be having crores, but he would not want to shell out even a single rupee to feed people. Okay. So do not, if somebody has these kind of lakshanas, please let them go off your brain. Feed people, at least your own people. If they come and visit you, uh, always feed them. You need not go and do a dana for a poor man, but at least feed your own people. Okay. The native is married at a very young age and the spouse is missing after middle age. I mean, you can say either the spouse is missing or there is no sexual intercourse with them. Okay. I mean, just be careful. Please do not ask these kind of questions. You may, based on his D10 or based on his D9, you can actually come to a conclusion. Is it a death? That's why there is a brahmacharya, or is it because of the transfers there is a brahmacharya, or is it an ill health, that's why there is a brahmacharya or something? Please do not ask any anything, any questions that can intimidate people during consultations, etc. I mean, please do not ask such questions. uh, they may look very cheap sometimes. Okay, so I do not want any of the people make some cheap predictions. Try to make something maturedly. Okay. So one thing, if the person is married, one thing what I'm seeing is there's a huge gap of age between the couple. Otherwise, there is no way the person can be married. Okay, there's a big gap. Otherwise, the person is himself is unmarried. Okay, even if he's married, what happens is there's about 15 years, 20 years of good married life, or 25 years of good married life. One simple storm came into their life, and they got separated. This also is Uttarashada. Okay, the next thing is the native is struggling on childbirth. There is either a delay or a denial. You have to look at all the combinations of the fifth house as well, and also the first house. So the first house gets connected to Uttarashada, the fifth house gets connected to Arudra. I don't know. So such things would trigger that, look, there is something wrong with the childbirth. Then you look at the D9, then you look at the D7, and then you look at the planetary combinations as well. There is a detailed article on this childlessness. You may get into it and have a detailed understanding of how you can look at childlessness. Okay. Next is obesity issues or the dental issues. And the very good point of this nakshatra, which I very much like about, is this person is constantly focused on self-improvement. Second thing is that there is a uh, some uh, some festival or something happens at home, right? There are three women at home. Yeah, I'm taking a woman's example now. There are three women at home. Maybe all are wives of brothers. So three brothers are there, joint family. Three wives are there. They're all living together. Now, one of those wives and one of those women is an Uttarashada. If there is some festival or some celebration or some religious activity or some kind of gathering that happens at home, the Uttarashada woman would say, look, I cannot get leave. I need to go to the office because I have so much of work left. I need to go. I cannot ask for a leave. Okay. They're completely focused on their own self, this thing. Because if she takes a leave, maybe her manager notices it. And then at the time of promotion or during the appraisal time, he may ask her, you have been taking so many leaves. So this is the kind of thought process she has in mind. Okay. So I may not give you a promotion right now. So I have a fixed figure in my mind that in 10 years of time, I have to make so much money is what Uttarashada thinks. Because this is what is the world. So let me make more money. I'm actually very, very delayed in making money. Let me make more money. So what is coming in my way? This celebration is coming in my way. So let me skip this. Try to convince my people with my good oratory skills, look, I cannot get a leave because there's a big audit happening at the office. Sorry, I cannot come. Kindly manage. Okay, this is how they skip the events at home. First time, second time, people will excuse them. But every time when this keeps happening, right, there is a complaint from the other two women who are actually doing even the domestic chores and also attending the office. Okay, so why she cannot get leave while we both can get? You the women think usually thinking of women, so you have to get onto it. Okay, first half of the life, the native is struggling on low salary, and then he actually may change a few professions, and then he'll find the right profession for him, wherein he is successful. The even the person is married, he has or she has issues with the husband on the ideology about money, the kind of money he's spending, why he is becoming a spendthrift. Okay, these are the questions that the wife is asking if the wife is the Uttarashada. Look, you have to save money. You have kids now. Okay, we are not going to live forever. We have to save money. They're all good things. I'm not saying or complaining or anything, but she will not allow even a single rupee to be spent. Okay. Okay. Then you have spirituality. This can also lead into spirituality in the later part of life. Okay, we've talked about everything on the traits as well. We've talked about, and then we have the first house. The first house thing is the native is stubborn, okay, or proud, shouts a lot, does not have constant friends or foes. Okay, in the first two things, right, stubborn, proud, shouts a lot and stuff, this may not be visible sometimes, depending on other combinations, but the final thing will be visible. They'll not have constant friends or foes. They'll keep making friends and they'll keep making enemies. This is a constant thing for them because something is coming in their way. They'll either become a friend or a foe. Sometimes friend becomes an enemy, enemy becomes a friend. So there is no constant thing for them. The person is very stingy or overly ostentatious. I mean, just trying to be very showy. He only has 10 rupees, but he shows off for 100 rupees. Okay. Or the person is having 100 rupees, but he's only trying to show that, look, I only have a rupee. On the extreme side it will be. Okay. Financial settlement comes only after 15 to 20 years of working or marriage, depending on if it's a male or a female. Okay. Financial settlement comes only after 15 20 years of marriage. Success in the second half of life, married very early in life, or divorced at a later age in life, or death of spouse, or professional transfers at old age, or the person is actually traveling in the old age, or spiritually the people are advancing, and or maybe there is a self-inflicted brahmacharya for whatever reasons that they have. Okay, childbirth is generally delayed. Check for D7 and combinations, and constantly kills competition. I think this is one of the best traits to have a monopoly business. Somebody needs to do a monopoly business. But these persons are going to work extremely hard. They don't believe in Jyotisha and all that stuff. What they will believe in is hard work. I'll do the hard work. Automatically, the hard work is going to pay off. There's no need for Jyotisha or something to be in favor. Okay. Very self-centric people, selfish people. They do not like to share food or resources. Maybe holding patents. They're trying to look at how can I win over the world with one product which nobody else has. This is what I'm going to make, okay, and sell it to people at very high price, so that they know the worth of the product and they may pay even 10 times of the price that I am offering. So they're very good at understanding it, and they can be very good. There can be very good, having very good skills of the making brochures, marketing information, and all that stuff. Okay, I mean, we call that fabbing actually. Facts and benefits are on one side, and why they are great is on the other side. These people can match such things very well. That look, our company is so old. That's why we make the best products and all that stuff. They all may not be true, but they can make them look like they are true, and they can establish uh, something in the minds of the consumers. Sensitive, secretive information, formulas, they can be spies and stuff like that. The native is very successful, or he's perceived to be successful due to tactics. Okay, this person uses a lot of tactics. And however, he does not like to be questioned or quizzed by others for the logic that he has applied to arrive at a decision or something. The native is earning very well, overly ostentatious or overly stingy. The native does not like to share food or resources with others. When you have this in the second house, this is a lot of troublesome thing. You need to do, um, you know, you need to actually immediately call for an action upon yourself that, look, I am going to share food with anybody who actually asks for it. No, you don't have to voluntarily go and share, but if somebody is asking food, please provide. Native may know many languages, his oratory skills are good, or actually the way in which something can be justified by this person, right? Nobody else can do that. They can justify anything very well for the second house. They're very argumentative. They'll prove anything and everybody as wrong for whatever they're standing upon. Okay. They'll be interested in drinking alcohol just for the sake of showing it off to people. If they think that, look, I'm standing in front of a very rich fellow, let me portray myself to be a rich guy so that I can get the help of this man and I can make use of him elsewhere. Okay. And they may have some dental issues or they may have some obesity issues. Third house is you have excellent drafting skills. This is one more trait which you can see. Third house, you have excellent drafting skills, very big initiatives, and maybe siblings, maybe having the Uttarashada characteristics. Okay. And fourth house is frequently changing homes or cities of living. Then you have mother is aggressive, haughty, successful late in life. The native lost father early. Mother is divorced, or father is ill. Okay. Buying home is delayed since the native is looking at very luxurious home or home with many conditions. Okay. That's why there is a delay. And you have the fifth house, Parvati cursed Vishwe Devas that they cannot have children. Vishwe Devas are also, the Vishwa Devas, what they have is they also have the celestial nymphs, like the Urvashi, the Menaka, and all of them. So they have relationships with them. I mean, so what happens is if there's a fifth connection to Uttarashada, the person, besides having a wife, may also have extramarital affairs because fifth house denotes love. Okay, or maybe the fifth house is only showing the person is not having children. Okay, then you have the sixth house. Sixth house is like they're killing the competition. Okay, killing the competition like anything. Either you have the Leo Lagna or the Cancer Lagna, the fag end of Cancer Lagna or the Leo's first two, three charanas. The person is constantly looking at how I can kill competition. Okay, and you have the Saturn or the Jupiter in the same place, in the same nakshatra, either in the sixth or the seventh, which I have described right now, then it means that it is very, very vigorous. It's one way it is good because he's going to get more money, that his product is monopoly now. Okay. Very successful professional life, especially after middle age. And sometimes the native is actually struggling in the first part of life, and then he realizes, let me completely kill all the competition so that there is no competition for me and I would only win. Even the sixth house may have issues with the sharing of resources, because the sixth house is in trines to the second house. So if you count five houses to the second house, you have sixth house. So even there, you will find that the person is not able to share resources. The marriage is very early in life, or the age gap between the couple is high. Okay. Uh, or or we have, I mean, sometimes if the marriage happens, 99% of the times the person, the gap between the couple is huge. Okay. It's not usual to have such gaps. High chances of separation after the middle age or the widowhood, or professionals transfers. But for separation, you always have to see the D9. Without having a look at the D9, please do not say there is a separation thing. It may not work. Even the seventh house will talk about competition. So this man is trying to constantly fill out competition. And the seventh house can also show that the person is stingy. Okay. I'll give you a classic example for this kind of stinginess. Okay. The seventh house stinginess will be like this. Let's suppose everybody at home is going to a movie. Okay. A movie theater. So typically a ticket would cost, depending upon wherever you're living in Delhi, then it's maybe like 1,000 or 1,200, or depending on whichever theater you're going for, even that matters, right? So the person, the Uttarashada person would say that, look, if I'm not coming, right, I would save like 1,200 bucks for you. Why do you bother for me? Please don't invite me. I'll refrain myself from coming. I'll stay at home. You guys go. Okay, you will save that 1,200 rupees. He may not say that that you will save it, but look, I'm not interested in watching a movie. I don't watch much of movies, right? You know that. Let me not come. Okay, this is how the seventh house conjunctions, or seventh house Uttarashada connections will behave. Spouse's family is of abhijatiya nature. So the in-laws are like, look, my father-in-law, right? The father-in-law would say, look, my great grandfather, right? Whole of Delhi was his own territory. He would say just like that. He would just be somebody in Delhi. Okay, he might say that whole of Delhi was ours at one point in time. I mean, the kind of show off that people might claim. So even at the eighth house, because the eighth house actually overlooks the second house, or sorry, oversees the second house. So what you can see is invitation for a meal is missing from that family or the person himself. So when you have second house, eighth house connections, just be careful. Let this trait not creep into you, that you're not sharing food with people. Food is a very simple thing. Please provide food to whoever comes up and asks for food. Ninth house, the father may be having the Abhijatya nature. The mother is ill or dead, or big age difference between mother and father. Father is successful after the middle age. This is one more thing that you can keep seeing for as a trait to whichever house it connects. There is a success after a long wait, because Uttara Ashada. 10th house, the native has a business or a job that is constantly changing forms. Okay, native is doing too many jobs or constantly changing jobs, especially till the middle age. After the middle age, the person is going to settle down and say, look, keep his foot down and say, look, this is the job I'm aspiring for all these days. Now let me settle down in this job because it provides me a good money as a package. Okay. And he will have a very good career from then on. The aspirations of the person is very, very high. Okay. So this person may be doing a business at home and then working at another office, so that he needs money faster as possible. Okay. But if he gets into business, this person is going to target monopoly businesses. He would keep using the word monopoly more and more. Okay, he could be a spy. He could be an assistant to a CEO, making formulas, secrets, NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. NDAs would mean. So dislikes to do some routine work, would like to delegate all the routine works to others and wants to manage other things. But these kind of predictions, right? You need to look at the D10 and stuff like that. He would like to do non-routine work only for one thing because nobody else is doing, right. It is going to fetch me more money. Okay. And these people are huge pressure creators. Somebody is trying to put overly pressure, I mean, trying to bulldoze things and trying to do a lot of things in very short time. They'll not accept any defeat. They'll keep hunting, and they'll be successful for sure. That's what you can say from the 10th house, or that for that matter, even the 11th house. So 11th house, as I say, as we say, siblings, the elder siblings is the 11th house. So they may be having this abhijatya attitude or age difference between couple in the siblings. They're unmarried, or they may not be having kids, or they are a successful businessman. Okay. 12th house, the expenses are very high, or the expenses are very, very low. The person is not actually spending upon himself, not trying to be very stingy and stuff like that. Okay. This is all about Uttarashada. Anybody has any feedback or stuff like that, please share with me. I'll be happy to hear. You don't have to name yourself. You can just say this is the horoscope, or this is the chart I'm talking about.
So,
Yes, tell me.
you have explained Uttarashada very clearly. I can say for that because I have an Uttarashada rising on my Lagna with
Okay.
the dispositor going into the second house, and every trait you have mentioned matches. Like the godly view of the world, I was introduced to Advaita Vedant in 2015 in my college years, and I was so taken by it, so consumed by it that even today my worldview is ruled by that Advaita Vedant. And teeth issues in 2013, I fell on the floor of my uh, school and broke my front two teeth. So that also matches. And for some strange reason, I used to snatch food from my cousins when they used to come at my home, let alone food. I used to snatch the salt bottles also from them. But later we became friends. And yes, I am selfish. I am very driven. Whatever I want to do in that particular manner, I want to do. And struggle in first half, obviously, that's still going on. And spirituality is something I don't want to marry in the first place, but I meditated and I had some visions. I had some connection with Shiva, and I I got married at 26. I had a kid also, but my wife is very afraid of my spirituality. She thinks I'll leave her and go to some place because whenever I get too much into these things of spirituality and uh, related things, she just gets crazy that you will someday leave me. She she says that, but nothing is of that nature, at least right now. But yes, I have plans to totally pursue spirituality in totality and go after it. And right now, money is my only focus. I handle some people's money also. And one more thing you mentioned very uh, beautifully. Like today is engagement of my best friend, and I have given him excuse, and I don't like to attend marriages of people. I don't like to attend celebrations. I even skipped celebrating my child's first birthday. I did not invite anybody, and I don't know for what strange reason. I don't like serving people food or sharing food. You are right, and I have been. I mean, I have been aware of this, and I have been correcting this, but I have not been able to correct it fully still. It's there.
Okay,
So
I'll,
you
I'll
are
give you
bank on.
I'll give you a solution for this, just in case you're thinking that you're struggling in your career or you think your money is not enough money is coming up for you. Ensure that you're calling at least one of your relatives home or one of your friends home every month and feed them. भगवान मान के उसको
Okay.
feed. भगवान मान के उसको फीड करना.
Like I can, if my relative lives nearby and they have small kids, then can I go there and give them some chocolates or something like that? Because is it necessary that I call them home, or I
Yes,
can go there?
you have to call them home because you do not want to call them home and offer them.
Yes, yes. This is it, right? Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, a lot of my friends also keep saying you don't call us home.
Yeah,
This
you have
is
to call them home and offer food.
okay. Thank you, sir. And I have another chart which we'll share later. If somebody has something to share, they can say. I have another Uttarashada chart.
Go ahead and complete it.
Okay, so Uttarashada, let me open it. Okay, the chart goes. Yes, so this is also a Capricorn Lagna, and she has an Uttarashada rising with the moon in Uttarashada in the Lagna itself, and the dispositor goes into third house with Ketu in Uttar Bhadrapad.
Okay.
So she has also got teeth issues. I'm not sure about the obesity because we both are very slim, but teeth issues we both have got. She has also got teeth issues, and I have also got teeth issues, and she is not married yet, and she does not understand the concept of marriage. That I can tell. She
Yeah,
keeps
because
asking me,
the seventh lord is also in Uttarashada. Lagna is also in Uttarashada. So now she does not want to marry.
yes, yeah, she doesn't want to marry. She was in a very good relationship for 7 years, and I don't know why, and they're still friends, and she just denies marriage. I don't know.
I'll give you the reason. The reason is she does not want responsibility. She does not want financial losses due to kids.
Oh, and she also has got Punarvasu, her fifth lord in Punarvasu. So I see some issue might come. I saw the chart earlier, but I came to a conclusion, but I didn't tell her anything. But maybe. And also, yes,
It's
sir.
very personal. Please don't get into that stuff. I don't think she likes it.
Okay. No, no, no. She is very frank. She is okay with whatever I tell. She takes me as a very good friend,
No, I'm
kind
not.
of best friend.
What I'm saying is, do not try to explore the reasons why she's unmarried. Okay, just
Okay,
leave it.
okay,
Unless she
okay. And
asks
sir,
for.
okay,
Mm.
okay. Sir, last time also we discussed the chart with Rohini rising and Dispositor going into. I mean, it was a Purva Shada case. I inquired to her, but she didn't had the teeth issue. She has a mild issue. I discovered something there also. Like it was a Rohini rising. Moon was
Okay,
in Revati.
the last class you were there, you asked a question about a woman, right? About
Yes, yes,
marriage.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
if she does not have any issue, she has a small issue. Ask her to get
yes.
the regular cleaning done of the teeth. There is bad smell or something from the teeth, or there is something wrong with the
Okay,
teeth. Ask her to get
okay,
a
okay.
teeth checked up.
So, but I discovered something which I am willing to tell over here for
Oh,
learning purpose.
go ahead, go ahead.
She actually is afraid of the dentist. I She has been my friend for 10 years, but I discovered now that she has been afraid of dentists for years. And what she has is she whenever she eats sweet things, she gets
Hmm.
a very deep sensation in one part of her teeth,
That is what I'm
lower
saying.
jaw, I think.
So there is
Yeah,
something. Yeah,
you are absolutely correct.
there is something wrong with the teeth. Ask her to visit her doctor, the dental doctor. Otherwise, you cannot get her married because she's looking for
Oh,
marriage, right? This is
okay.
what the
But yes,
question
she
you
is
had.
looking for marriage.
This is what the question you had, right? I told the answer. Go back and listen to the video, the last video. I said, unless she meets a dentist, get her
Hmm.
tooth fixed or the tooth problem fixed, there is no marriage.
Okay.
Okay.
You're fabulous, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. My pleasure.
Sir, I can confirm this tooth problem. I have moon in Uttarashada and
बेटा
same thing
बेटा
whenever
आवाज
I
कट रहा
eat
था.
sweets,
आवाज
there
कट रहा
is
था.
some.
फिर से explain it from the starting, please. Your initial voice was breaking. आवाज कट रहा था.
Sir, I can confirm this teeth thing. I have moon in Uttarashada, and
Okay.
whenever I eat sweet, there is some sensations, and I am also afraid of dentist. because my whole family have teeth issues, and I have seen them going to dentist. I can't do it,
No, no.
so I have
Get out
found
of
some.
the phobia. Okay, if you have a dental problem and you have moon represents the teeth, so you have to go and see a dentist. That is when the personal life is very good. Okay, do not delay it.
Okay, okay. I have found some Ayurvedic care, so whenever there
No,
are
no,
cavities
no,
problem.
no, no. Go to a doctor. See the person. Okay, you have to meet the doctor. Do not self-medicate or do some self-medication. It is not going to work. You have to pay him money.
Okay,
कंसल्टेशन के फीस के तौर पे आपको पैसे देने हैं.
oh, okay.
Okay.
I had filling in my teeth twice,
समझ
and
समझ गया. You go and see a dentist. Is there something else that you want to say? उत्तराषाढ़ा के बाकी
and
कपड़े
obesity
बताएं.
issues.
Obesity issue.
Obesity issues too. Yes, and that food thing, I don't think it was when I was a child, but now it's not there.
Okay.
Moon in third padam,
Okay.
so it's
No. What is your lagna?
Lagna in Swati, second padam.
Lagna in Swati, right? So what you are doing is you are not giving a helping hand for people when they are
Sorry,
cooking. You are
what?
not.
Repeat, sir.
I'll repeat. You are not helping people when they are cooking.
Yes, you
Okay,
are right.
so go when you go to a place, if they are cooking, you go and help them in the process of cooking. खाना बनाने में उनके मदद नहीं कर रहे हो, जहाँ पे जा रहे हो आप जाके उनका मदद करो.
Okay, okay, right, right.
Okay.
But sir, my
Good.
mother was married very early, but there is no such thing bad married life, no kids. We are four siblings, and
No. Okay. What are you talking about? Sorry.
Moon is mother, right?
No. Why are you saying moon is mother? Fourth lord is mother. Fourth lord's dispositor is the real mother.
Okay, okay, okay,
Uh,
okay.
your fourth lord is in Hasta, if I remember. Am I right?
No, Bharni, Bharni. It's in Bharni.
Bharani. Okay. Okay. Good. Anybody else has any comment? Somebody gave a lot of claps all through. I do not see who it is. कौन था वो?
Is it
Yes,
because if the moon
I,
is in Uttarashada, this traits will reflect, or if it is in ascendant also it works?
it works more with the ascendant, not with the moon.
Okay, got it. Because I have one of my
Never,
friend.
never
Have
look at
marked.
the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Always look at the lagna.
Okay, got it.
Lagna lord, dispositor. These are the three things that will make. Moon may give you one or two traits. Okay, maybe one or two, not more than that.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Is there anybody else? Any more feedback? Okay. Shall we take leave then? All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Maybe it's like, you have a 2 hour class of which maybe half an hour would be a little concept. After that, we would start to do examples. What I would recommend is you please bring in your your horoscopes. You don't have to name the individual. Just you would say the date of birth, the time, and the place, and the gender of the person. And please bring in horoscopes who are at least 40, 45 years of age. We are not going to use them for prediction, but to cross check, okay, whatever we have learned has already happened or not. So what we would do is we would, let's suppose something, some signification we have learned about the nakshatras. So if we say that, look, this person is unmarried, it means that he is unmarried, or this person had such a job or something. Okay, maybe like Aslesha is towards the petroleum job or the banking job, etc. Right? So, so the person, I mean, do not bring in kids horoscopes wherein there are like 17-year, 20-year-old. Because if we learn prediction from it, then what happens is you have to wait for another 5 years or 6 years for that prediction to come through. Instead, always bring little older people's horoscopes. Okay, let's start today's class. Uh, we have uh, we have done Mula, right? This is Purvashada.